I know, because they were all the time when I was doing the thing. Oh, I need to, I need to look quick. So Lake of Peace, I need something. Oh, yeah. So Lake of Peace is Coach Nyla, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as co-author of the book Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored, and author of the book Developing Your Feminine Frame Playbook. In my coffee together, we're just gonna have a little quick chat, guys, for the most part. And I'm excited because I haven't done like a live in a minute. And some of you guys are probably asleep. If you're in the States, you're probably asleep, or you might be doom scrolling and you probably see this now. And because I'm still traveling with my family and it's the daytime, I was trying to get this live together before my boys got up and started yapping and being loud, but it's what it is. They're going to get ready and start their day. And it's like I said, for some of you, it may be evening. You probably sleep. You might be catching this on the replay. And there's some of you that are awake, whether I had a woman who was on the live who was who was on my webinar, who was from Sweden. Okay, so, but before we get into anything else, make sure get whatever you're gonna get. Coffee, if you're gonna get coffee, you're gonna chill, whatever. I want to talk about this Developing Your Feminine Frame companion journal. If you guys, whoever's seen it, I'm not gonna say if you guys, whoever's seen my post yesterday, I made a post and I said, when Coach Nyla has to coach Coach Nyla. You guys see me, I'm in my little comfy going on right now. And, in the morning, just chilling. So I wrote a post about when Coach Nyla has to coach Coach Nyla, or when Coach Nyla coaches Nyla. And it's, that's a serious thing. Like we're not always at this level here. There are things that happen in life. Life happens. We're human beings. We have our emotions, our feelings, and things as far as that. So when it all comes down to it, I decided to go and print out some pages from my Developing Your Feminine Frame companion journal. So if you guys haven't gotten it, you need to because it's pretty dope. And what I'm going to do is actually go through the first section in the companion journal. The companion journal. Now this companion journal comes with the playbook, with the Feminine Frame playbook. You don't necessarily have to use it with the playbook, or you don't have to have read the playbook all the way through in order to use the companion journal. However, it comes with it. And if you want to get it, if you are watching, I don't know what it looks like if you're on your mobile device, but if you're on your computer, the link, you could just click that button that's above my head and it'll take you to the page. And if you're not and you want to know where to get it, it's polygamybooks.com. Okay, polygamybooks.com. So anyway, we're going to go through this because in 2026 is coming up, guys. It's coming up, and you guys know that already. And you have people that do their resolutions or whatever the case may be. I'm not into the whole New Year's resolution thing, but I'm always into improvement and just being better you, better you, new you, all that other stuff like that. And there are people who decide to do it at the beginning of the year, and some people do it on their birthdays. There's a number of different things. I'm a type of person that there are eras in life, and I'm in a number of different eras in my life. One of the things is I saw a video of one of my girls, and she said she talked about the unbothered era. She's in her unbothered era, and she was reading this book, and the book is she was reading a book, or she was talking about the book. What is it? The Courage to Be Disliked, or the courage of Being Disliked, or something on the lines of that. And before I even seen that video, I said I wanted to get that book, and I actually was listening to the audio version of that book, the audiobook version of that book, which has helped me a lot. with understanding certain things, being able to gain the confidence that I wanted to gain, that I've been gaining, that I needed to hone back into, because certain things happen in your life that kind of knock you down if you're not consistent with your growth and your personal development and everything like that. So I'm going through a number of things. You guys kind of see I got this little compression sleeve on here. Those who don't know, I battle rheumatoid arthritis. Sometimes I'm in these flares. I get these flare-ups, these different things that happen. And so this actually helps. But when I'm going through those moments, I'm feeling away, right? Because I'm not able to do the things that I want to do. I'm not doing the things that I am so used to doing. And I can't control that. Those are things I can't control. So I'll try to do certain things with eating right and things like that, exercising, trying to get the rest that I need to get. But when I'm really trying to hone in on business and trying to do some things for, the audience and everything like that, I don't take as good care of myself as I'm supposed to. If you guys understand that, you guys are in agreement with that, put it in the chat. If you guys have found yourself doing that, definitely. And I realized that I'm like, you know what, Coach Nyla needs to coach herself, because it took a turn where I'm looking at my husband's computer. He had the landing page that he was working on the screen, and the words are big on the screen. The landing page is the title, it's the headline of the landing page on the screen. I'm not standing that far away. I'm standing on the other side of the counter. He was working at the table, and I'm looking, and it's blurry. And I'm like, that's interesting. The words are blurry. Kept it pushing. Mind you, he asked me, told me, he's like, you know what, did you take a nap? Or, you know what, you should take a nap. Or, just pretty much hinting that I should take a nap. And when we're kids, we fight those naps. When we're older, we need to make sure we're still taking those naps. So I didn't. I said, yeah, it's no time like today to take a nap, but I planned to do it later on in the day, or a little bit later. I want to finish something up. But time get away from you. When you're not being consistent and when you're not being intentional, I swear to goodness, your body gonna tell on you. Your body gonna tell on you. Stuff is gonna happen to you, because you need to take care of yourself. We need to take care of ourselves. And it's not just saying forget everybody else. No, we have to be intentional with what this looks like. Taking care of our relationships, nurturing those relationships, nurturing our mental, nurturing our body, nurturing our soul, nurturing our health, those type of things. That's important. My nails probably looking all crazy too, y'all. I shouldn't have my daughter was gonna do my nails last night, but I went to sleep. I wasn't feeling well. So anyway, so I'm going to go through and I did that pretty quickly. I'm sorry, guys. This right here. And you can print these out, and I talk about printing out the amount of pages that you want to print out. So like I said, if you haven't gotten yours yet, order it. Order your Feminine Frame Playbook. Order that playbook, and the companion journal comes with it. So what we're going to do is go through the first session. Can't talk right now. Go through the first section, and I'm going to go through it with you guys. So I give you a greeting at the beginning. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to read this to you. It says, Assalamu alaikum, peace. Welcome. This journal is your space, a place to soften, reflect, grow, and step into the woman you are becoming. You do not need the full playbook to use this journal. I told you that at the beginning of this. You do not need to use the full playbook. You don't need the full playbook, but this journal comes with it, and it'd be advantageous for you to actually read the book. So anyway, every prompt, reflection, and exercise can't read either. Every prompt, reflection, and exercise here is designed to guide you through feminine identity, emotional steadiness, respect and communication, affection and admiration, maturity and emotional ownership, exclusivity of heart and intention, personal growth practices, and that's G.R.O.W.T.H as an acronym. And I'm going to break that down. That means gratitude, resilience, ownership, where you are taking responsibility for what you can do and what you have done in your life, wisdom, transformation, and harmony. That's growth. So your personal growth practices, your journey as a wife, and as a wife in polygyny, if you are a wife in polygyny. Move at your own pace. Print as many pages as you want. This is for you. This is yours. So the reason why I like that to have things downloadable, I've homeschooled my kids for dang on ever. And when I get certain things where you can download them and download worksheets and things like that, and you get a course or a lesson or manuals or study guides where you buy the guide and you can just print as many as you want. It's like a one-time fee and you can print as many as you want. The value is amazing. So I love doing that. So this is why this is here. And use what you need. Some things may not be for you. It may not be in your era right now. This journal meets you where you are and helps you rise into where you are going. Coach Nyla. So shine bright like a diamond, guys. I always say that. My daughter said I stopped putting my diamonds on it because that's what I put it for. And I was like, oh, I sure did. I was like, I'm gonna get back to doing that and put my diamonds. So I want you guys to shine bright. So section one is centering your feminine identity. And like I said, we're just going to go through that. I'm not going to go through the whole companion journal. Because I put it out and printed it out last night because I was just really going through some stuff yesterday, missing my mom. I just got off the phone with her, so that was really nice. Or got off of Facebook Messenger with her, so we were chatting on the phone, chatting on video. Had a great conversation with her. Made just so much stuff. I told her I was going to interview her. I want to interview her. I want to interview my grandma. So those of you who still have these women in your lives, even if you have not had the best relationship with them, like we've had our ups and downs, but for the most part, amazing relationship. And as I've been an adult, been a great relationship because I can understand certain things now as an adult woman. I can understand things as a wife. I can understand things as a mom, certain things that she was going through. And we had a great conversation on that. And I told her I want to interview her because she has children that are in different ages and different stages of their lives. And I'm like, how does that look in the eyes of a mom? Because I know how it looks in the eyes of me as a mom raising my children. And then I'm like, wow, this is crazy. My mom has these children and I'm part of, I'm one of her children, and what does that look like? So we had this great conversation about that. But I said I was going to do an interview with her because it's a lot I want to know, even though I've been around her for so much, of my life, for all of my life for the most part. Well, not all of my life, but what I'm saying, I got married, got my own, But yeah, so those type of things. So I'm realizing, and I have realized a lot of times that we have lost our identity or suppressed our identity in certain things that we've done in our lives, and the femininity that is natural to us or that should be natural to us have not, because has kind of been suppressed or it dissipated or whatever the case may be. And it's not really that it just left. It's still there. That's natural. It's just that we've suppressed it or we are protecting it from, harm and all these different things. So I feel like we have to be more hard or masculine and things. And when we do that, we lose this softness in ourselves. We lose this beauty in ourselves. We lose how to pretty much just be in our natural selves. So that's why the I wrote the Feminine Frame playbook. It's actually called Developing Your Feminine Frame playbook, and the companion journal, as well as the journal. I mean, the companion journal that goes with it, as well as the integration guide, because it's an important thing to have, and I had to pull those things out when I'm feeling lost, when I'm feeling stressed out, especially even in polygyny. Things are not always, sunshine, rainbows, kittens, and unicorns. Sometimes, jealousy comes up and creeps up. Sometimes you have insecurities, or all these unknowns that can happen because comparison might rear its ugly head. And I'm like, you know what? This is not how people should live their lives. They shouldn't live, and that's not just in polygyny. Polygyny is just a bit different because you have these other dynamics. But when I was a wife in monogamy, and when before I was Muslim and I was in other relationships or whatever, when I still had those things, the jealousy, the fear of abandonment, these things, because polygyny does not create those things. It just exposes what's already been there. It's already been there. Oops. Trying to doing their stuff. So section one is centering your feminine identity. In the journal is centering your feminine identity. I noticed when I started really honing in on that, like I can look the part all day long. I love my pinks. You see, I love my pink. I love flowers. You can see that too. Butterflies is my favorite insect. I love pretty much like all things feminine. I do. However, I noticed in life, as I was getting older, just looking at certain things, I'm like, man, I don't embrace my feminine energy as much. I get very defensive. I was getting very defensive, very rough. I would tell people how I felt when I felt it. And it's usually not with me. When it comes to that with me, I'll just get really defensive. And then I'll get into a space where I'm just really ugly with it all. So let me check this. So when it comes down to it, okay, distractions. Sorry, just 1 second. Oh, okay. Good. Let me watch it. Let me put the link, because I did tell you guys the link, but I should have put it down on the screen. I have I don't know. I'm just going to put it on there because I have the button, but let's see. Oh, if you're not in here yet, duh. Let me put this in the chat. I was supposed to put this chat up, and I'm looking like, why I'm seeing the conversation? Because you didn't have the chat up, girl. All right, the chat is up. Let me put the link up for you guys and get into this chat. I'm talking like, why don't I see anybody? Okay. But it's at polygamybooks.com. Okay. Polygamybooks.com. And I'm going to put that in there. Okay. Oh, no problem. Thank you. Now that I'm seeing you guys, my crazy self, and I'm going to go into the chat too, but I'm going to continue to finish what I'm saying because I get easily distracted, y'all. I'm telling you that I do. And it's so funny because my husband said you need to set a timer to do certain things because you'll be like squirrel and then you go do something else. It's like sit down for 10 minutes and finish the thing because then you start bouncing around doing these other things because yes, I'm easily distracted. But when it all comes down to, that's why I have to write stuff down. That's why sometimes you'll see me looking at paper because I got to stay focused or I'll be all over the place. But section 1, centering your feminine identity. Really important. So on that page or in that section, it's a couple pages or a few pages, it goes into the who am I becoming? This is so important. This is why I had to do this, because I'm like I said, we're inching up. We got a couple more days until 2026, like a couple more days till of 2025. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm not gonna miss it. Bye bye 2025. But it has allowed me to be where I am and to be able to create this journal, this book, everything like that, and just learn a lot of things. So, who am I becoming? This is on that page in the first section. And we'll have a reflection. It has a reflection. It's like, describe the woman you are becoming. And if you guys want to like do it now, do it now. You don't have to, you want to get the journal so you can do the rest of the things and have the pages and be able to print it out and everything like that. But write this down now. Get your notebook, get your journal, get whatever you have, get your whiteboard, whatever it is, and write this out. It's who am I becoming? Here's the reflection. Describe the woman you are becoming in this season. Not who you were, not who you were. We can't change that person. We can't go back and change who that person was. We can only work on this person now and just work on this person to be better in the future. Okay. So not who you were, not who you fear becoming, not who you fear becoming, because we fear the unknown. Sometimes we're like, well, I don't know what that is. And we can fear ourselves into stagnation. We can fear ourselves into not moving and doing anything. So not who you are, not who you fear becoming, the woman who you chose to step into, the woman who you choose to step into. And here's your prompts. Okay. What qualities define her? What qualities define her? Think about that. This is some thought-provoking stuff. This is, you're not going to just be like, okay, I'm done. It's like, what qualities define her? What does she feel? What does she want to do? Who is she? What type of person do she show up as? Because this is her aura. This is her energy. And that's the next one. How does she show up emotionally? How does she speak? How does she respond? How does she carry herself? How does she carry herself? How does she love? How does she love? And here's the thing. I saw something online, and this lady was talking about how she was watching I think she went to go see the comedian Dave Chappelle, and he said you can love a person and still be kind of like, forget you, type of thing. And, the language is more colorful than that. However, when she said that, was really interesting, because sometimes you're loving a person, you can love them from a distance. You have, sometimes. So it's like, how does she love? How does she love those who are close to her? How does she love those people who may need to have some tough love? How does she love herself? And how does she maintain her peace? Oh, honey, that is important. That I didn't realize the importance of that until I got much older and have like a house full of boys for the most part. It's like, it's a beautiful thing when you see them grow and you see them do things, but those who have sons, boy moms and everything like that, the bumps and the bruises and the loudness and the testosterone and all that other stuff, it could be like, whew, I need, especially when it comes to the femininity, I'm like, I need a feminine space. I need some feminine time. I need some of that, so so how do you maintain your peace? And that's with anything. That's when, it could be when you're dealing with stresses at work. It could be when you're dealing with polygyny stressors, where there's certain things that may happen where schedule changes may throw you off, where something that may happen that you can't control happens, and you're like feeling a little frustrated or flustered or fascinated by it. How do you maintain your peace? Because you can't control those situations, but you can control how you behave. You can control how you respond. You can control how you take the things, because some people can have similar experiences, but have a different way that they handle things. And that has to do a lot with them and their identity and their growth and their maturity. So that's the first part. That's the first page, the who am I becoming? So I'm going to give you the next part, or say identity over emotion. And I'm going to go through identity over emotion, and I'm going to go through spectrum self-reflection, and then that's it. But these are the 3 prompts I'm going to give you. From that, you guys want the rest and all these other things, and want to print it out and have as many pages as you can and everything like that, go ahead, get the book, polygamybooks.com. So identity over emotion. Your identity must lead your emotions, not the other way around. Your identity must lead your emotions, not the other way around. So here's your prompt. Write about a recent moment. See, this is when we have to get into this stuff, right? And you have to put it out there and tell me, but write about a recent moment where your emotions try to define the situation. All right. Write about a recent moment where your emotions try to define the situation. How would your identity-centered self handle it? So let me see. Where my emotions try to define the situation, I've had a number of those happen, where you hear people say certain things about you, that you don't understand this because this is your level in life, or this is your position in, your marriage and different things like that. And you want to, well, me, I would say, there are times where I will want to, so fly bothering me. Did y'all see it fly across the screen? It would go to a point where I feel like I have to defend, my position and defend myself and have to explain why, I can feel these things, that I do understand this. And I say, what, people are going to think what they want. They're going to say what they say. They're going to feel what they feel. What they say, they said a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So I'm like, that's not my task. Now I'm going into, that's not my task. Why? Because that's my identity-centered self. That's her talking. That's Coach Nyla talking. That's, the identity-centered Nyla talking. Where it's like, I protect my peace. I can't change what this other person thinks about me. They may see something different later on, but I'm just going to keep showing up as me. And what does that look like? That means that's the person that's continuously growing, person that may make some mistakes here and there, but can admit to it because I take that ownership. When I was talking about growth, take that ownership in what I've done and what I do, and not let it get to me, and it's not, and that's easy to say. It's easier said than done, because things can get to you, but it's like, how do you show up? And I'm not saying suppress it. I'm not saying that, oh, well, it don't bother me. That's nothing. It don't bother me. No, I'm saying that, you know what? I can handle it a different way. Let me process this. Let me be a better me. Let me figure out how I'm going to handle it. So that's your prompt for identity over emotion. Write about that recent moment where your emotions tried to define that situation. And how would your identity-centered self handle it? Okay. So the last part is in that section is spectrum self-reflection. Spectrum self-reflection. And this is, the question here is, where do you feel you currently sit on the women's spectrum? Some of you guys don't know what that is. So I'm going to post that. I'm going to put it up. Just video bomb. So give me 1 second. So I can put this up there. So this is the spectrum. I'm working in this new. Here we go. See if it pops up. Okay, so here's the spectrum, guys. So the question goes, where do you feel you currently sit on the woman's spectrum? It's like no judgment, just awareness. You want to write your strengths, your current struggles, where you desire to be, and what you are willing to do to grow. So it's my strengths, my current struggles, and where I desire to be, and what I am willing to do to grow. So when it comes down to it, you have, if you look at the spectrum, on the left side, there might be the left side of you guys. I know it's left side for me. You see the pink and the really pretty woman colors. That's the feminine side. And the blue, that's the men's side. And of course, duh. But there, you see, it's pretty much similar. Like it's the same words. However, you have the corrupt, and the corrupt, they're like the Karens. You know, it's like it's like, I want to destroy you. I don't care about anybody but myself. You have the combative, where it's the, someone tell you something, you have to argue. You always have to argue. It's like, it was a meme that I seen before. I don't know if you call it a meme. The kids back in the day used to call them vines because they're just really short things. But the lady was like, you want to argue? I ain't going to argue with you. And she just sounded really country, and I just really love it. She's like, I'm happy. Leave me alone. But you have combative people that no matter what you say, you can say the sky is blue and the sky is blue. It's like, no, it ain't. It's like it's like a cerulean. You're like, seriously, dude, blue is blue. So anyway, and then you have the cynical. And the interesting thing about the cynical, I look at them that they always have to see something wrong with something. It's like they're not combative. I mean, they're combative too, but it goes into seeing something wrong. You can talk about nice things. You can even give them a compliment. They're like, oh, well, no, not this. Or you say something nice about what's happening in your life, and then they got to say something bad. I had a video that I did before on are you a friend of me or a friend of me, or you're a friend of me? And I talked about different types of friends or frenemies. And the cynical was kind of one of them, but I gave it a different name. And those are the ones that are, I call them phony balonies. No, those are not phony balonies. They got a little piece of phony baloney in them. But it's like they always want to see something wrong with the situation. And then you got the conformist. The conformist is the person that, or are the ones that, and that's usually, a lot of us are operating at that level for the most part, and we could keep going into the climbing and the competent and the crowned. But the conformists, they usually have what I call the echo chamber. People say the sisterhood, but sisterhood should be people that are really your friends, that are really people that are going to tell you when you are acting a dang on fool. But in the conformists, those are the ones who listen to the echo chamber, where they're doing something wrong, and it's like, well, we're women, we should stick together no matter what we do. It's we are for each other, but being for each other should mean that I can call you out on your BS. I can call you out on your stuff. And so then you also have the climbing, and that's the person who's like, you know what? I see these things are wrong. I see where I have these issues, and I need to, move forward. And it's, a struggle, but they're moving, they're learning things, and they're growing. And you got the competent, who they know, they know what to do. They're working on it, and they're continuing to work on it. And they're nice to be around. Now they're nice to be around. They're honing in on their feminine identity and all those good things. And they're really moving in that higher level, and they're at that higher level in the spectrum. And then you have the crowned. These are the unicorns. These are the people that this is what I'm aspiring to be, not dealing with a lot of the drama, not being combative, not having things, hit me so hard where I'm snapping off on people and different things like that. So when it all comes down to it, that's pretty much the spectrum in a nutshell. You know, I go into that deeper in the book, and I go into that deeper in webinars and the trainings that I do. However, for that, I would love for you guys to write those things down. So I broke down the spectrum for those who are not familiar with the spectrum code, the frame spectrum code. So for your spectrum self-reflection, you make sure that you are writing down your strengths and where you, like I said, where do you feel you currently sit on that spectrum. And I should have told you guys to screenshot. I'll put it back up there so you guys can screenshot it just in case you guys don't have it. Okay, let me do that real quick. Okay, so screenshot this, have it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So check it out. And where do you feel you currently sit on that? Like I said, no judgment, just awareness. Not right now. Don't beat yourself up like, oh, I'm here and I'm such trash or this, not whatever. And then even if you're in the higher levels, don't just be like, oh yeah, I want you to celebrate you, but realize that we go into ebbs and flows in life. So you're at this level 1 minute, if you're not being consistent with being intentional with staying there and increasing your level and things like that, because it takes work. It takes that work. You need to make sure you're consistent with that. So, and also not be knowledgeable that things happen in life and you're like, oh, find yourself at one of the other levels and say, oh man, I need to snap back, I need to snap back to myself and get on this, get my identity together. So write down your strengths, your current struggles, where you desire to be, and what you are willing to grow. And that's it for what I'm going to talk about on that. Like I said, if you guys want, not if you guys want, you should definitely get it, but go to the link. I shared it in the chat. And you guys have any questions? I'm going to take some questions, a few questions now, but I got to get started with my day. I get started with getting my children ready because I homeschooled them and I want to make sure that they have all their stuff for the day, for the morning. So, oh, you're very welcome. Okay, so it says, working for a living at this time. Oh, good morning. Hope you and the family are well. Alhamdulillah. Yep, we're well. Alhamdulillah. Say, yes, ma'am, got my coffee just passing through Georgia, going to Alabama. Okay. Said, oh, so maybe this is nothing. No, it's not. Okay, there you're a guy. I didn't even see that. But yeah, no, this is for the women, But share it with the women, share it with the women in your life, share it with the women that you love. Like I said, some of the people who are on here, they may be watching this as a replay. See, I just threw my pen. They might be watching this on replay, and that's fine. Send that, share it with the women in your life, share it with the women that you love. Okay, the link. So the link again, polygamybooks.com. And I look forward to doing more lives like this, doing more chats like this, going into the Feminine Frame Companion Journal some more, going into the playbook, going into the integration guide. So and doing more of these. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Make sure you grab your copy at polygamybooks.com. Make sure you continue to follow us on our social media platforms. And I seen a post go out. My co-wife is doing a webinar tonight. So make sure, if you guys have not registered, make sure you register for her webinar. I'm actually going to put the link. Coach Fatimah has a webinar coming up today. So later, well, today for us. So yeah, today, the 30th, December 30th. And the website for that to register, if you guys don't know, is polygamywebinar.com. polygamywebinar.com. So you'll get more information. You'll get the information on what time it is and what time she's going to start and everything like that. So you don't want to miss it. So go to polygamywebinar.com for that. And like I stated before, for the book, you guys have the link as well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one and hearing how much you've grown and what you are doing for your 2026 and preparing yourself for a great 2026, a great new year. All right. Till later, make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. It's your Coach Nyla. I'm out of here. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.